What's up, everybody? Raddad Cooks here. Today we're going to be making this totally bodacious chicken parmesan.
Cooking, not cleaning, we smoking and seasoning, grilling, sauteing, and chilling is the reason. Raddad Cooks, y'all.
All right, first things first, whipping up this chicken parm, we need our chicken cutlets. Now we could use chicken thighs, boneless, skinless for this, or like most people do, the chicken breast. Start off with a breast that's about 8 ounces. Go ahead and butterfly it right down the middle. Now we're gonna cover it in plastic wrap and we're gonna beat it out flat. We wanna get it to about 3/8 of an inch thick. Now you could use a little meat hammer for this, or like me, I just use a bottle of Marsala wine because I'm a real Neanderthal. Once we get our chicken pounded out, we'll go ahead and peel our plastic back and we're gonna put it in a Ziploc bag with a little bit of our favorite vinaigrette. Close up that bag, put it in the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours, but you can go overnight if you got the time. Nice little massage, make sure that all of that flavor gets in them breasts. Now, when it comes time to put our breasts together, we're gonna set up a simple little 3-part breading station, starting with our flour. Wanna make sure we get flour in every last little nook and cranny on this breast. That's how we get a professional style breading. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in half right now, so that way I got 2 baguettes instead of 1 biggie. It'll be a little bit easier to work in the pan and probably a more reasonable portion if you're not trying to get all fat kid on it. Next, little dip into the egg and then right into the breadcrumbs. Now you could use Panko, traditional breadcrumbs. These are the Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, just the store brand, nothing fancy. It's all in the technique here, folks, not in how much you spent on your ingredients. Notice how I'm putting a nice little pile of breading on top of my chicken, as well as patting it into a nice loosely formed stack of breadcrumbs on the bottom. Go ahead and continue this with the remainder of your chicken breast. Of course, I'm only doing 2 here, but the same applies if you're making 200. Now you can go ahead and put it in a pan, layer it with some parchment paper if you're doing more than 1 layer, that way they don't stick together. And these are only gonna stay good for about 12 hours before that breading starts to get funky. When it's showtime, we're ready to cook these bad boys up for some guests, or maybe mommy, or maybe yourself. Put about 1.5 cups of your favorite spaghetti sauce in a pot and get that heating up. 1.5 cups for each portion you're making. So of course it'd be more if you're making more, right? Next, into a medium-high pan, we're gonna hit it with about 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 ounce of olive oil. When our chicken's sizzling like this, when we put it in, we know we're at the right temperature. We're shooting for around 350, 375. And we're really just gonna cook by color, because these are so thin, they're gonna cook quickly. Plus, we're gonna be putting them under the broiler to melt our cheese on, so they'll have another opportunity to finish up. Definitely want to make sure your chicken hits 165, but you overcook it, and it's no bueno, mi amigo. Once we're done cooking up our chicken breast, we're gonna pull that pan off, drain that grease off somewhere safe and responsible, return our chicken breast to the pan, and now we're gonna top it with a nice little layer of red sauce. Don't go too crazy here, because you put too much sauce on there and your cheese is gonna slide right off on the first cut, and that ain't professional. Next, we're gonna put on a leaf or 2, some julienne fresh basil, add a little brightness to this dish, pretty much a pantry dish. Hit it with a dusting of that sawdust. And then we're gonna top it off with about 1 ounce of whole milk, low moisture mozzarella cheese on both. Under the broiler, it goes. Now at this point, you're gonna wanna watch it. You don't wanna overcook it, you don't wanna undercook it. This is gonna have a lot to do with how it slices. If you were doing more than 2, of course, you could put these on a baking sheet. Once we start to get the formation of a little brown crust on there, we know it is time to pull these out. My favorite way to plate this up is on a nice little pond of spaghetti sauce with whatever kind of dry pasta you would like on the side of that. slam that chicken Parmesan down. And if you're feeling fancy, throw a little parsley on there. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and easy chicken Parmesan recipe. I know it's probably not your aunt's, but it's really easy to execute. And I think that a lot of people will be surprised that you pulled this off in about 30 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you like this content, make sure you hit the like.
Thank you for tuning in, and if you love the content of this video, hit like on the way out. If you're new, become part of the Raddad Cooks ecosystem by subscribing and dinging that notification bell.